As I've said this before, and I will have to strong enough to say it again, there is absolutely no honor in the land of woke. None. All these people who love to champion these things and act like, they're standing by each other and all this and diversity and equity and inclusion, all of that goes out the door when time comes to point fingers. They have no problem doing it to anybody else. They will turn on each other like rabid animals. And it seems now that Disney has decided it's now the best time to throw Rachel Zegler under the bus because of how badly the Snow White movie is bombing. Before I get into that little fiasco, let's take a look over the numbers here for the worldwide box office for Disney Snow White. So sitting at $87 million, $87.9 million. This movie was projected to open to at least about 100 million, so it's more than missed that mark. And it's probably, I think it's, what I understand, it's the lowest performing live action movie that Disney has ever done, and we're not surprised by this. The amount of controversy that this thing had behind it was incredible. It was doomed before it even showed up. And regardless of whatever else you may say about it, it's gotten to the point where people are just sick and tired of it. Disney has ruined the MCU. They've ruined live action movies. All people want is for Disney to go back and start to make good content, but they don't seem to want to do that. They want to die on that woke hill. Now, speaking of woke hill, and as I mentioned earlier about, no honor in the land of woke, and how Disney has decided to throw Rachel Zegler under the bus for this little fiasco. Well, let's get into that, because it comes from an article from Variety. Inside Disney's Snow White fiasco, death threats, beefed up security, and a social media guru for Rachel Zegler because they couldn't get her to shut up. They had to give her a social media guru. Get into this, people. On August 12, 2024, 3 days after Rachel Zegler hit the stage at Disney's D23 fan event to introduce the first official trailer of Snow White, she thanked supporters exclusively in an X post for driving the teaser to 120 million views in 24 hours. 1 minute later, she added an afterthought in the same thread: and always remember, free Palestine. So she made a post after the putting out this trailer for Snow White, got 120 million views in 24 hours. She came out, she thanked everybody for that, and then followed up a little while after saying, and always remember, free Palestine. Now, Rachel Zegler has been outspoken about her whole thing involving Palestine and all of that, and her co-star, Gal Gadot, is Israeli. So that's a problem there. The thing about it is that keep your politics out of this. If you are going to just thank people for the likes on the trailer, that's all you have to do. That's all you have to do. Or the views, I should say, that's all you have to do. But as I said before, and I'll say again, Rachel Zegler is a social media influence celebrity. She does not realize that, the things that she says, the repercussions, and she just does not care. Like a lot of people who go out on social media and do these things, they figure that they must be allowed to say whatever the hell they want, no matter what it causes, and you're supposed to be okay with that. And this is what she did. Well, it kind of snowballed from there. That addendum, which amassed 8.8 million views, nearly 4 times the number for the initial post, quickly made the rounds, with many inside the studio expressing shock that the Snow White star would commingle the promotion of its 270 million tentpole with any kind of political statement. Why not? Like I said, she is a social media influence celebrity. She does not understand that. You see, if you have your personal view, that is your personal business. When you're doing work and you're promoting your movie, that is all you should talk about. But she doesn't see it like that. She sees that any time that she gets anytime that she gets any kind of views on anything, it's an opportunity to stick it to something. That's what she does. A Disney executive raised the studio's concerns with Zegler's team, while the film producer Mark Platt flew to New York to speak directly with her. But the actress, whose relationship with the studio began to unravel in 2022 during a contentious West Side Story award season campaign, and continued as she trashed the beloved original Snow White, stood her ground, and the post remained. Behind the scenes, death threats towards Zegler's co-star Gal Gadot, who is Israeli, spiked, and Disney had to pay for additional security for the mother of four. So yes, Gal Gadot, a mother of four, you understand me, who is Israeli, and is Rachel Zegler's co-star, started getting death threats. You understand me? But you think Rachel Zegler cared about that? No. She was perfectly happy to go out and attack Gina Carano. Disney knew the kind of person that they were hiring, but they were so desperate to push their agenda to tell everybody, look at us, we hired this Latina Snow White so we can show everybody how progressive we are. And when you're trying to realize the nightmare that's happening now, you didn't know what to do. The director go there and talk to her. Executives talk to her team, and she basically said, nope, I'm going to do whatever the hell I want. I could say whatever the damn well I want to say, and you're not going to stop me. That was it, because she reached a point now where she figured, okay, she could do as she bloody well please. She doesn't have the credits to do it. But no, like I said, she's a social media influence celebrity. And these people believe that they are bigger than they actually are because of the dopamine hits that they keep getting from social media. So yeah, Gal Gadot getting death threats because she wouldn't shut up. She didn't understand the repercussions of her actions as far as what that meant for the film, for Gal, for anyone, says one insider. What did I just say? What did I just say? This is what it is. She does not understand. This is the same thing that happens with all these people who love to call themselves social media influencers and all kind of thing. They don't understand what they're doing. I remember a few years back, it had some of these social media influencers who were talking about how they were body positive and all kind of thing. Heavily obese people talking about how, all the years, all the scientific data that show that, eating healthy, losing weight, and all that is good for you. They were saying, no, that's wrong. Be like us. And when they started dropping dead one after the other, God forgive me, and I just want to speak a lot dead. I'm just saying, you understand me? That is what turned up. But anybody stop to think that? No. Because they kept getting influenced by social media. And this is the same thing that happened with Rachel Zegler. She didn't understand that, she didn't care. That's the whole thing about it. And I know people are going to say, well, if she didn't understand, no, it's always a two thing. They don't understand what they're doing, but they also don't care to stop. That is the whole bottom line with them. But it kept going from there. 3 months later, following the presidential election, Zegler posted F Donald Trump and made Trump supporters never know peace on Instagram. Yes, I did a video on that. Disney had had enough, given that the star was signaling to half the potential audience of an already troubled film plagued by costly reshoots to stay home. Platt made the case again to Zegler. After a back and forth, she began working with a social media guru paid for by Disney to vet any post before the film's March 21st bow. Disney declined comment. Zegler did not respond to a request for comment. So yeah, so when I stated that, that so-called apology that she posted about her whole F Trump thing and made Trump supporters never know peace was clearly done by somebody else. They hired a social media guru. This is most likely what happened, because she would not stop. She would not stop. And they realized that at that point, listen, we have absolutely no control over what she's going to say next. She could post anything, say anything. She was literally ripping the original movie apart. Understand me? And now she's out there on social media telling half the voting population and more than half, because I still say, in order for Donald Trump to have won by the margin that he won by, some people who were Democrats had to vote for him also. She was basically telling all of them to go F themselves. You were destroying this movie before it even came out. People were already sick and tired of all the race swapping and all the DI, all the nonsense in Hollywood. And you were outside there telling them, listen, I don't give a flying if about it, I'll say what I want. Because again, doesn't understand, doesn't care. So they had to go now and spend more money to hire a social media guru to get her to shut up. Now that the film's dismal opening weekend, 87 million worldwide, is in the rearview mirror, Burbank brass are evaluating what went wrong. To put Snow White's global box office haul into perspective, it's about 34 million less than Warner Brothers' Joker Folie à Deux in October, with a bigger budget by 70 million. So yes, it's less than Joker Folie à Deux, a movie that was a complete bomb at the box office. You understand me? It was so bad. I have actually never seen anybody say anything positive about Joker Folie à Deux. And yet Snow White opened for 34 million less than that. And the budget for Snow White is actually 70 million more. Plus, you still had to add on some of that money for the marketing, which could easily have been like 100 and something, probably $180 million could have been for just the marketing. Plus the money that they had to pay the social media guru, you understand me? Add on to that, plus the extra money that they had to pay for extra security for Gal Gadot, you add on to that, no. This movie needs to break at least maybe $1 billion to even kind of get back some money at that point. And it's not even looking like it's going to sniff that. That's how badly this is, because she wouldn't stop. You can't say that a live-action remake of the most iconic film in the vault that cost 270 million has been reshot multiple times. Opening to 50 million is okay. The math does not work. That movie should be $1 billion movie, said an executive at a rival studio when the film was tracking for a 45 million to 55 million domestic opening. It ended up at below even the low-end figure at 43 million. Yeah, because you have they claim a $270 million budget for the movie. They had to reshoot it multiple times because, like I say, I didn't see it. Somebody else I know went and saw it and tell me the data of the film, and plus the people who the reviewers I look at and stuff tell me same thing. You could tell the movie was a hatchet job. They had to cut and paste things together. The dwarves were a freaking nightmare. That's the one thing I can tell everybody. I don't know, those were a complete nightmare. You understand me? All of that, and the movie is bombing, and you still wouldn't shut up. You understand me? So of course, they're going to throw on the bus at this point, because they need to be, like I say, there is no honor in the land of woke. None. The Disney Zegler standoffs underscore the challenge Hollywood studios face as they attempt to rein in stars who caught controversy on social media. For her part, Gadot kept her comments on geopolitics limited to offering support for the civilian hostages taken during the October 7th Hamas attack, and did not mix that message with the promotion of the film. Now, say what you want about Gal Gadot's acting in Snow White. I've heard it wasn't very good. At least she knew how to behave professionally when it came to certain things online. Not Rachel Zegler, though. Zegler had already strained nerves at both the studio and Steven Spielberg's Amblin partners when she complained on social media that she wasn't invited to the 2022 Oscars as the star of Best Picture nominee West Side Story, a film distributed by Disney. Sources says she had just begun production on Snow White in London, and Sean Bailey, then president of Walt Disney Studios Motion Picture Production, declined to cut her loose for the telecast. After Zegler aired her grievances publicly, the Academy provided her with a ticket even though she wasn't nominated. Bailey was gone from the job by February 2024. I tell you, this is what keeps these people believing they have power. Disney kept enforcing her. She ran on social media, you understand me? And then carried on like a lunatic to get people, to get all the so-called shows that rile up and thing. And Disney saw it online and then thought to themselves, listen, this is what actual people want, not freaking lunatics. And then they decided to let's pivot to give her what she wants. This is the problem. They don't understand the repercussions of what they've done. But it's gotten to that point now. There's some more to the article, but I think you pretty much get the point at this juncture here. That Rachel Zegler is being thrown under the bus by Disney because they realize, listen, somebody had to take the blame for this fiasco, and we're just going to leak the information of how much of a nightmare she really was to work with. You could not shut up. If you had just behaved in a professional manner, done your job, promoted your movie, and let people judge it on based on what it was, but from what I understand, it's still terrible. But still, let it judge it on that. That could have worked. But no, Rachel Zegler, as I've said before, and I'm going to say again, is a social media influenced celebrity. And these people have no realization of the things that they do. They don't understand the repercussions and they don't care. And this is the result. Your movie has literally bombed at the box office. You take a look over the numbers, look at where it is. You understand me? Bombed at the box office, and now Disney are saying, you know what, we're going to save ourselves. Because like I started off this video saying, there is no honor in the land of woke. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. If you have a different opinion, I'd love to hear it. If you like, if you hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, ring the notification bell to be notified every time I put out a new video. And I shall see you all next time. Take care.